How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Monday, June 10th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moon Base. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Monday. My throat's a little messed up, so if my voice sounds weird, I apologize. So, let's get into the week here. Well, into Monday, but this week is going to be incredibly intense. So Mars is moving to 1 degree of Taurus today, activating this square with Pluto. And Sunday, we had the T-square from the moon opposing Pluto with Mars. Now that Mars is going to be tightening up its exact square with Pluto, we're going to start to see some shit really pop off here. And as much as this moon in Leo wants to express itself, especially with how we've been really transforming our lives in such a big, powerful way on a really personal level with relationships especially, and, you know, this kind of shedding skin that we've been going through over these past few months since this Chiron North Node conjunction we just had and everything else involved with Chiron. You know, this moon's going to be trining the nodes today. So it is. This moon really wants to create today, really wants to express itself from the heart, and with it making its sextile to Mercury, and Mercury in its ruling sign, and it will sextile with the sun as well. You know, I think it's really important to really speak from the heart and speak your truth from the heart. And when things do get really freaking tense with this Mars square Pluto, which they're going to, we have to be able to speak from the heart and speak the truth and also present the facts. Because that's what Gemini is about. It's about presenting the facts, presenting the information. You know, Gemini is not necessarily about attaching its emotions to its thoughts, right? But this help and support from the moon here, sextiling with Mercury and the sun today, and Venus later today going into tomorrow. You know, as much as this Mars square Pluto can really challenge us on a personal level, this is very high-driven, high-paced energy, you know, but this is also about power. And especially when it's in two fixed signs, it's about beliefs, you know, and what you really believe in and what you think is the right way. You know, Taurus is like, well, my way is the right way. And Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius is like, well, the only way the right way is here is, you know, if we're all in this together, if we're all thinking in the same vein, if we're all thinking the same thoughts, right? And this Mars square Pluto really just wants to break free and be its own person, right? Mars really wants to be on its own right now. Mars does not want to be involved with Pluto's idea about everyone, you know, thinking the same nonsense. And I think there's going to be a lot of power struggles that are going to come up this week, especially in our relationships, especially where our values and our self-worth is concerned. You know, if you feel like someone's trying to pull you in or trying to pull some power move on you, you know, you gotta hold your value. That's what Mars and Taurus is wanting us to project out into the world, right? Mars projects. It moves forward. It penetrates, right? I mean, look at the symbol. It looks like something that penetrates, right? So, and with Mars and Pluto too, two signs that are Scorpio ruled, right? So it is really getting to the bottom of what these really underlying issues that are going to pop off this week that are connected to these insecurities or ego battles or belief clashes or power struggles that are going to come up. But this moon in Leo making this great sextile to Mercury, it's like we have to speak our truth. We have to speak from that pure place of our heart and our light. The sun's in Gemini, okay? The moon is in a fire sign, so the fire is lit, okay? The air is kind of coming through and fanning the flames as we come into this week. And this Mars square Pluto is a trigger point of like, bam, There are going to be some dominoes that we're going to see fall this week. We're going to see more information get revealed. Now, Mercury has to square Saturn. So you definitely can, and not today, here in the next 3 days or so, 2 days, going into Wednesday and Thursday, Mercury's going to start to square Saturn. So you could definitely bet that there's going to be some information and some facts and some truth that is going to be revealed where things have gotten a little slippery. Things weren't quite what they seemed. Saturn and Pisces, this is all about the information that's coming to the surface. And we can't deny it. We can't run from it. We can't hide it. So, and a lot of that too was brought out when Jupiter trined Pluto. Of like, oh, fuck, like this is the deeper, dirtier, darker shit that I don't like to acknowledge that was there, but, there's something to be learnt from in that area. But now, the things that have been really certain, that have been really buried are going to start to surface. The information this week. So, Mercury square Saturn, Mars square Pluto this week. So, no matter what, I think the key today to remember is that with this moon in Leo, making great aspects to Mercury, the Sun, and Venus, it's like we have to just remain in that place of our true, raw, authentic self. Because there's going to be energies this week, for sure, with Mercury square Saturn. Someone who's got some great idea or some great scam coming up, right? Or so Mars square Pluto, somebody wants to manipulate you or manipulate a situation or really challenge your self-worth or you challenge your values in some sort of power play, right? It's like, like you can't sit with us because you don't think like us, like Pluto and Aquarius, right? You're not welcome here. Mars and Taurus is like, the fuck I'm not. I'm a sovereign human being too, just like all of you. So there's a lot of passion this week. Mars square Pluto is very passionate. Okay, like it could be very, very. Look, square points are always where the challenges start to boil up, where we have to face and overcome challenges. That's what squares are all about, especially to Saturn and to Pluto and Mars, like the malefics, right? Pluto, Saturn, and Mars, the malefic planets here. So it's just really important not to get sucked into any of the dark shit, with the South Node 2 in Libra, with Black Moon Lilith, there's still this underlying thing that we have to acknowledge and that we're going to be working towards more understanding once we get to October into the eclipses here. So this is an interesting week. Very interesting week with this Mars square Pluto. And then we're going to be walking into Neptune squaring with the Sun, Venus squaring with the Sun, and then this conversation of what all these Gemini planets that have been squaring Saturn and Pisces, and now to square Neptune and Pisces and its ruler at the last degree. So there's a lot of things that are going to have to be addressed, a lot of information that's going to have to be addressed this week, going into next week. A lot of facts and a lot of new information or information that was buried. When we're talking about Pluto and we're talking about Neptune and Pisces, we're talking about things that were hidden, things that were buried, things that are not on the surface. It is moments like this with Mars square Pluto, Mercury square Saturn, and then Mercury square Neptune, where a lot of the BSers tend to come out, or a lot of people's BS tends to get exposed. Like you can look at a lot of like these televangelist types, okay, or even politicians. Mercury square Neptune is very strong in their chart, okay? Barack Obama, just saying, Mercury square Neptune. Even the whole Terrence Howard thing, which I talked about, it was an amazing Joe Rogan interview. But when I looked at his chart, I'm like, oh, he has Jupiter, Uranus conjunct. Definitely a fucking genius. But then he's got Mercury square Saturn. So discerning how much is fact, how much is fiction. This is going to be coming up a lot this week, going into next week. We've already been experiencing that, So with this moon in Leo today, sextile over to Mercury, it's being able to just speak your shit. Even if you fucked up, even if you have mistakes that you need to address or come clean with, or, it's really important to get to those places this weekend because you keep repressing that shit. You keep, sweeping it under the rug. It's that Mars square Pluto energy where it's like, bam, and then you end up into a cataclysmic situation that you didn't ask for. And that's very Mars square Pluto. So whatever side of the coin that you're on, maybe on both. It's Gemini season. I think all of us are on both sides of the coin at this point here. So it's just being able to look at both sides and be honest and be truthful and present your thoughts and information and your truth and your facts from your heart with this moon in Leo. So interesting week we got coming up here. And we had the Judgment card. So, with a lot of new information and a lot of truth coming to the surface and these trigger points that we're going into, this is a moment of judgment where judgment is being cast and, things can start to balance out in a way. And that's a good point. When we do have these challenges, it does force us to have to act quickly, or it may throw us off of our routine or something we didn't expect. When we get to these moments of judgment and truth, this is when things start to balance out, So right now we're still weighing things out. And that's what I was kind of talking about with the South Node and Black Moon Lilith is, it's not really going to be until the eclipses till we really balance these things out and really start to understand the equanimity of this teeter-totter between our identity and our relationships and, all that stuff that we've been talking about since last year, really. Definitely this year since these eclipses, but, this week is definitely going to be one of these weeks where unexpected shit, in the world, really, in the more mundane realm, it's just going to get really interesting. June, it is this month when things go, this month going into January, this is when things really get interesting, where the whole story really starts to get wild. We're talking about Sun square Neptune, Venus square Neptune, Mercury square Saturn and Neptune. It's a circus sometimes. And circuses can be fun if you're willing to be realistic and actually observe the circus and not be the circus. So I think that's the lesson maybe that we're being taught here with all these Gemini planets squaring Saturn and Neptune. We're going to find out over these next few weeks. So have a wonderful Monday. I will see you all tomorrow. I think Frankie and I on Wednesday are going to do her show, and I'm super stoked. I'm going to do sun signs this week. My throat's a little messed up. Everybody around me is getting sick, so I'm trying to keep it at bay. Hopefully I don't get any more sick because I'm not going to be able to fucking do a video. But for now, I'm good. So have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.